Greetings from Wisconsin. Joyous greetings, as a matter of fact. I've lived in many different states in the Midwest, but I'm here trying to work with all of you in this virtual conference. I've lived in Kansas starting in 1971 and joined NAEA then. I lived in Iowa, Missouri, Wisconsin, and have done work in Michigan as well. I'm retired, but not tired. Usually when I am going to a conference, I wear my conference hat. So I'll stick that on real quick. It has different logos and buttons from different states. But since it's a little warm here right now, I'm going to take that back off. Today we'll be working with the idea of Raku firing. I just finished a retreat with 8 participants, teaching them about the clay, a one-step firing, and Raku. And that was right here in my studio in Hortonville. So what the plan is we'll show you about tiles, about airbrushing, about making a clay mask, and about how to fire with Raku. This will be done with little snippets of videos as well as some pictures. And you can contact me anytime if you have questions. Thank you.
I'm not joking. But anyway, what's kind of fun is we take the lid off and everything is sort of glowing. The tongs, as quickly as we can, we take them with tongs. We put them in the garbage cans that have wadded up newspaper in. There's some wadded up newspaper on the lid. We put the lid on, or we throw the newspaper in on tops. It'll catch on fire and then you put the lid on, and then we put towels, wrap towels around the outside so that it doesn't smoke and bother the neighbors or get the fire department here again. And
Oh, I came one time?
not here, but when we were
Okay.
another place. Anyway, then the next thing we do is let it rest in there smoking for 10 or 15 minutes. And then we take the towels off, lift the lid off, and then take another set of tongs, lift those out and put them in the water so they cool quickly. And what that does is it sets the copper, because most of those glazes have copper in it. And then some might be copper penny colored, some are gonna be iridescent. There's all kinds of cool things that happen. So I love Raku because you never really know. And if you don't get them out of the kiln fast enough, they start cooling and then they don't catch on fire as hot in the garbage cans. So in the garbage cans you can have newspaper, corn husks that are dried, you can have leaves, you can have sawdust, anything that will catch on fire.
What does
actually.
the fire do? Why
The
do you
fire
have fire?
makes smoke go into any part of the clay that doesn't have
Is that where
glaze
the
on.
black comes from?
That's where the black comes. It's
How come then I
carbonation.
had to get all the paper out of the dog?
Well, because when we're firing it inside the overall kiln,
Oh, that's
That
where you
holds-
don't want smoke.
we don't want smoke, but we don't want the moisture, because the paper, when it's inside something, sucks out the moisture. That's a really good question. So then the paper holds the moisture, and if that moisture's in there when we are firing it,
Yeah, it could.
then it could blow it, especially those real thin or crack or
Because
whatever.
the cloth will suck some of it up. So what I'm doing is I'm using my arms and pushing almost like an aerobic exercise. And I'm making kind of a spiral in here. You can kind of see the spiral. And what that's doing is it's compressing the clay, and every now and then I'll take that point and I'll work the point back into it. So this is the easiest way. Some people like to go like this with both hands, so it ends up looking like a monkey face or something.
And then this is already a bisque fired piece, so I'm gonna put one on the cheek over here. And then just press it down real well. And I forgot to do the stem, so I'm gonna get that real quick. And then just peel it up, and it will leave a little print, and so did this one. So we don't, it'll show a lot better when it's actually fired. So, and this will be Raku fired. Okay, let's just make sure that goes out. There you go. And then you just can clean this up a little bit. and then you can put your design. Now, one thing you can do, this is a leaf that we painted the glaze on the leaf, and then press the leaf onto like your face. You could do that. So you could. It will sit here as long as this edge. And if you need more light, I've got this little light to plug in, but I think I'm okay. Okay, so I'm gonna let that sit there for a minute. I'm gonna put my hat off, madame, and my mask on with the metal side up so that it fits my nose properly. And this will keep the elements out. Make sure it's down over my chin. And then I put my goggles on. And then you can turn the fan on. And then we'll start spraying. I usually give it a shake. And I usually test it on the back wall first. You can adjust this. It's just starting to come out. And you want a quick motion. See how it's changing color? Around. And try not to get it on the edge, and if you do, let it dry and use that tool that has a hook on it in your basket, so that, or bucket. Okay, so this is gonna go pretty quick.
So we don't need to do the wax on the edges of the tiles?
No, and I'm not gonna glaze or do anything with the leaves. I'm just gonna let them smoke. This is the only way you can smoke pot.
I got that on video.
Oh no, this is all straight. This one's straight. There's nothing in that one, but we're gonna mix that up. That's peacock. So I notice it's separate. And then once you've got that cut, you make 3 or 4. Maybe you want the back to be a little bit less or whatever. And I'll get this going. Any questions at this point? A person who's the tonger that takes things out with the tongs. We have garbage cans that the things we lift out of the kilns go into the garbage cans. We have people next to the garbage cans with one glove and the lid, and they make sure the newspaper gets put in after everything is lowered and the lid's put on, and then that person and maybe another person from the other garbage cans can help wrap the towels around real quick so it doesn't smoke. Then we'll let that rest, okay? So we've had some people who've been tong people, and so I would be one of those people. Christina would be one of those people, and we'll alter between Kevin and Kelly. Is that okay?
That's fine.
And then you can be the record keeper that keeps track of the time in the kilns.
Okay.
Okay? And at one point, you will take the dragon out, and if you want to do some tonguing to make sure. Yeah, you can video it if you want. Ready? Okay, slow.
You gotta go, turn it a little bit towards Christina. You're gonna miss the, there you go.
Rest is good.
So far, yeah.
Feel good?
Should be good.
All right. Okay, since this is hot, I gotta turn it down to a trickle. Just barely going.
the time as soon as we get through that. The next thing is, before we put the lid on this one and start it, all the tonging in this one and everything goes in these buckets with the newspaper. This one, however, has 3 bottles here that go to the horsehair. So the horsehair container is over here. You'll carry the tongs over here, and if you're doing horsehair or maybe a feather, you take, there's dog hair in there too if you want to do dog hair. You take a little strand, like I'll pull this much out, but I'm not going to put the whole thing down. I'm going to take 1 or 2 strands and then put those like just barely. And then once you lay them down, they'll go and you let go and it'll go its own way. So you don't need very much.
You do have to do it right away.
Immediately, as soon as we get that horsehair, and actually while the person's holding the tongs, before they lay it in the sand, you should put horsehair on it. If you want to rotate it, we can drop it in the sand, rotate it, and you can lay another one down. Okay, questions? Okay.
Is this one of your tiles? Jen?
Your eyebrows.
I don't know. You had
Maybe.
one like that.
Or
Yeah.
maybe I might have. I marked it down. I have my initials on the back. After a while, they all start looking, you know, a lot of like, oh, that looks good. Yeah, that looks good. Alright.
Here she is. I got a good video for you.